evening. How are we all this evening? Apologies if there is a slight background noise, but I've got to have a fan on up here because it is a little bit warm up here today. So I have got a fan. I hope it's not too loud and annoying. I've got my mic on, so hopefully you should just hear a humming in the background. But let me know if it's really annoying and I'll run around and turn it off. But I am a little bit melting. Right, let's just get to so I can see and make sure I'm not missing any comments. Let me just flick around. Whoops. Bear with me. Here we go. There we go. There we are. Right. Okay. Good evening, Carol. How are we? Thank you. Hello, Sue. Hello, Hazel, and anybody else that I've missed. Right. This evening we are going to be playing. It's my birthday, so I can play with whatever I want. We're going to be doing some painty stuff, and we're going to be playing with foils. So I have, let me try that sentence again. I have added some foils to the website, just like a bumper pack. And I'm going to go through using them a little bit tonight. Now, these are the foils that if you've got a laminator and laser printed stuff, you can use with those, but also there is lots of other things you can do, and we're going to be using them without that. And the bumper pack gets you, this is just a selection of some of the colours, and you get loads to play with. This is something that, oh, the door is mysteriously opened. Hi, Marv. Hi. So the fan that was blowing on me is now blocked by the door. Thanks, Marv. So yeah, so we're going to be using them without that, but you can use them as well. They are going to be on other platforms, shall we say, towards the end of the month. They're not going to be the same price as I put in them here. This is just like a little birthday treat. So let's get started, and today's kinetic card we're going to end with is a flag book, so that anybody that wants to maybe craft along. By the way, I'm super impressed with all those that have been sharing their Waste Not Once Not that they made from last week's live, and well done to the people that have tackled a circular waterfall. Right, went out for lunch with mother-in-law, might have stroked another dog today, so I'm now having my legs sniffed frantically. Right, swapping over to, woohoo, it's clear. Right, let's have a play with some paint and let's get some painty backgroundy things going. So we're going to be doing a white version and a black version. So I'm going to sort of put them and work on them at the same time. So what we do to one, we're going to do to the other. So we're going to have these lovely sort of contrasts. There is a couple of bits that we'll have to swap around for when we're doing highlights. But before we get much further, in order to use the foil later, I need glue, and I need it in an ink pad form. So I've got one of my blank ink pads. It already has got some glue on it, but I just need it to soak in a little bit. So I'm just going to put a dollop of glue, still working through my giant PVA, turn it upside down so that you're spreading the glue about, turn it back over, pop the lid on, and we'll come back to that later. Okay, right, let's start having some fun. And I thought, do you know what, we've been having fun with those colours, I'm not going to change it. So we've got our usual colours, and all we're going to do is create two interesting collage papers, but this time just initially using paint. Okay, so none of the papers that we were doing, but it still has that same kind of randomness, not thinking about it theme. Okay, so I am going to give them all a shake. I did check the lids were on, and I think gonna start, do we start with the lime? No, I think we're going to start with orange. Okay, so what we do to one, we do to the other. So I'm just splotting some paint possibly try and keep it on the paper, but maybe not. Okay, and then I'm just going to take something scrapeable and just to break up those colours in the background, and by scraping it around, apart from anything else, by using this corrugated card, see you're getting a little bit of interesting pattern already, but by scraping it around already, that's quite dry. It does help that it is super hot up here, even hotter now. The door is blocking the fan. Oh, I tried. Right, so that's the orange done with. Let's start having some fun with some of the other colours. Let's go with Poppy next. I'm going to open it up, and I have got some bubble wrap. Now, I don't need a massive amount, and I need something to hold. So I've wrapped it just over the top. Knew that would happen. So got it on a jar so that I can just create a little bit of interesting texture with my bubble wrap. Need a bit more pink on that. So just put the lid on, give it a little flick. So let's put in some more. Okay. And again, I'm not overly thinking about where stuff is going. But whatever I do to one, I'm doing to the other. But obviously, even though we're doing that, you're getting very different looks. I'm going to flick my mobile off for a minute because I don't need it. Yep, okay. So, finish with that for a minute. Let's do a little bit with rust. Just looking around what else I've got. Oh, that's what I've got. A bit of cardboard. So, a bit of corrugated cardboard. Thank you, everybody. I will go through and read all the birthday messages later. Went out for lunch with mother and father-in-law, and possibly ended up at the garden centre. Possibly bought some plants. I also bought a lovely planter for my birthday, but apparently me building a planter on Facebook Live was not deemed to be the best thing to do as a Facebook Live, and would have been obvious that I just wanted to build my birthday planter. So I thought it was a bit unfair, so I'll have to do that later. So I'm using this. Oh, that's a cool pattern, isn't it? So I'm just really not overly thinking, just using whatever I can find to get a little bit of texture and interest down on this. I'm trying not to press too hard with this because I don't want to squash the corrugations. Okay, trying to go off the page a bit as well. Okay, want to do my green now because I really like that as a pop of colour. Aren't I being good and putting the lids on? It's so hot and muggy up here today that I just was worried that it's gonna dry out too much. I mean, I thought, oh, I'll have to dry these between layers. I'm kind of loving that already. It's kind of got a sort of almost an animal print, a sort of leopard here, a bit of tiger kind of thing, but how different they look between the black and the white. So let's come in with some lime green. Now I'm wanting to splat this, but it's a little bit thick to splat, so I think I might have to mix it with a little bit of water. So let's just get some green in there mixed with a little bit of water just to thin it out a little bit. Now, I'm usually disastrous with splatting, but it doesn't matter for what we're doing here. I did see that if you sort of tap onto that, see, I told you I'm disastrous with splatting. Maybe I need to make that a bit thicker. Probably get it all over myself as well. Oh, I'm just going to go with my old-fashioned way of just splotting it down. A bit more in there. It is better if it's a little bit looser. It possibly is getting on the... No wonder Marvin sits behind me when I'm doing Facebook, or he'll be going home green spotty. I think, honestly, it is one of my favourites. Only trouble I notice, Elsbeth, on the black, it is a little bit more transparent. So it's not quite as intense, which is why I didn't use it as the base colour, because with the other colours underneath. I'm getting a very 1980s vibe from this. I think we should have a fun little guessing game now, because as it's my birthday today, but we were going out with Paul's mum and dad, he's planned my birthday activity for Friday, and Helen is not allowed to join in this because she's coming with us because her birthday is only 3 days before mine. So we're having an activity Friday morning, but your fun little thing is, can you guess what we are doing Friday morning? It is an outdoor activity. It is related to animals. So anybody like to hazard a guess as to what Paul has booked for us all to do on Friday morning? It's very local to us as well. So there you go. I'll tell you at the end. Don't let me forget to tell you at the end. Right. Kind of happy with that at the moment. See, I love that because I'm not thinking about it. Might have to clean the counter in a minute. In case Paul's watching. Do it now before he has a heart attack downstairs. He's painting a helter-skelter. Beekeeping? Good. No. Right. Good guess. But I love bees. But after a little incident up here on the business park where we had a beehive go aggressive, the queen bee turned aggressive and all the worker bees, I'm a little bit allergic. Right, alpaca walking close. Feeding animals at the zoo, that's just daily feeding the dogs. I did alpacas once for my birthday, but you're along the right lines. I want to do Highland cow hugging. That does sound fine. I saw there's somewhere that does retired dairy cows cuddling as well, which I thought was nice. But yes, you're along the right lines. It might help if I say you're not supposed to wear anything with toggles or tassels because they might try and eat them. Right, there we go. I'm happy with the splatting now. I'll leave that for a minute. Okay. I'm not really wanting to dry. Just wondered why my extension on my lead on my heat gun wasn't reaching properly, and it's because there's a golden retriever on it. Right. Shorter necks than llamas, Sarah. I'll be telling you all about it on Saturday. It is walking something. Right. So at the moment, whatever we've done to one, we've done to the other. So we're getting this really nice coordinated two backgrounds. They look very different, but they've got the same feel and obviously the same patterns. Goats. Yes, well done, Carol. We are walking goats. The three of us. So that'll be fun. And the sort of description on it is like, it could take 50 minutes, could take 60 minutes. Really depends how your goat's behaving. Wear long trousers because they might want to drag you through nettles for a snack. So anybody that's coming on Saturday to paper making, if I'm not there, you know why. Right, so we now need to start adding a few sort of highlights to this, and we're going to do that slightly different. Why is that gone? Hang on, can you guys still see me? That was really weird. Why did it go black? What did I press? Back now, isn't it? Fish. No, me and fishing. Right. I will try and get photos, unless the goat eats my... Don't know what happened there. Why did it go preview? Camera 3 has gone off. Why is camera 3 gone off? That's weird. The overhead camera's gone off. I think I know why. Let's do that. I might have to bear with me a minute. I'll have to take my mic off a sec. Just talk amongst yourself for a minute. Because, 1 second. Stay, Marv. I've got to stand on that. Putting the mic back on. There you go. Yeah, camera up above went off. So hang on. Ta-da! We're back. Right, okay. Think I hadn't switched it on down there, so it was running off battery and it went flat. Right, so where were we? So we've got the site, we've treated so the camera's now a bit over that way because I climbed up, as you saw. Right, so we've treated both the same. But we're going to do some highlights now. So in order to give these highlights, obviously, normally we use black or white. Can't use white on the white one, and we can't use black on the black one. So we're going to go white on the black one, black on the white one. But we're still going to do the same sort of thing. So let me just flick my bottle so that I've got some in the top. Let's start on the white project with the black paint. Okay, so I'm just going to cut myself a bit of cardboard. So you've seen me do this sort of thing before, and I'm just going to make some very simple marks. I kind of like this crisscrossy kind of idea. And if you let the paint do sort of first and second generations, you start to see the corrugations coming through. Okay, I don't want to overpower it. Should have sorted out the door while I was over there. Right. Happy with that. And I also want a round lid. Definitely getting sort of an 80s duvet cover feel. Do you remember those sort of duvet covers? And it was back when duvet covers were still sort of fairly new, so it was really cool that you could have. You either had the Pierrot clown, do you remember those? Or the Snuggle Me dog, or you had the sort of trendy how am I getting in so much mess? You'd have the sort of trendy, sort of very 80s smash hits cover kind of feel. And I do want some spots as well. So I'm going to use the handle of this. So just some little clusters. If you can sort of try and do them in an odd number. But it's not the end of the world. It's just, again, all we're doing is not overly thinking it, having a bit of fun with some paint. Okay, And then we're going to leave that one to dry for a second. I am melting. Hang on. Nope, it's blown. Oh, that's better. Right, so for anybody that's just late joining, I'd set up a fan and then Marvin had walked in, pushed the door open and blocked the fan. I love him dearly and all of that. Right, it is hot, isn't it? I mean, it's not just me age. So we're going to do exactly the same idea to this one as we've just done to that one, but this time we're going to use white. So I'm going to get my piece of cardboard, and I am using cardboard, which means the sort of the 2 layers, because it just gives you such nice sort of wobbles and texture and much more interesting than a very straight. I just, you know, and things like this are so easy to play and, you know, liberate yourself and not overthink it. There we go. And same, we're going to grab a lid. I had 2 lids specifically for this. Oh, there it is. Saved me having to wash up in between. Oh, that's nice when the fan. So here we go. So exactly the same idea. So again, we're going to come in with some dots. See, there's nothing complicated with this, but you're just creating a fab little background. Any old colours you want. It's very similar to last week's, but this time we're just using paint. Well, just for paint at the moment. Right. Okay, we want to add a little bit of something extra now. So let's put the paints away. And really don't want to have to dry these, but no, so yeah, the camera, basically the cameras run on their power, they run off power, but they do have batteries in. But if I forget to turn the power on, sometimes, because I have to put the cameras on well in advance and stuff, they can just go a bit flat. And I hadn't noticed, I hadn't turned it on at the wall, which is why it was only the overhead, because it's on a different socket. So you see, they've got that idea of coordinated but different, because that's what we're wanting. We're wanting 2 different sorts of... Right. Okay, just going to give it a quick, world's quickest blast. Heat gun's probably cooler than the air, because that black's a bit thick. That's fine, we can just avoid those areas. So it's very nice, but it's very matte at the moment. And I think I want a little bit of sparkle. So it doesn't matter. If the paint smudges, it's going to smudge, it's fine. So we're going to add some sparkle using our foils. Now, as I say, these are the foils that you can use with laser printers, and then you run them through your laminator or something like that, and the laser print will... This is the thing, Mira. It's, yeah, you can, but we're going to use both of them, so that solves the problem, because you could easily do some nice journal pages with a bit of one and a bit of the other, and you know they're going to work together because you've got the same patterns. So yes, the foil. So you're going to get plenty of it in different colours, and I'm going to be using, so I've got some of the green here, some of the baby blue, some of the pink, some of the bright blue, some of, we use quite a lot of that, some of the bronzy copper, there's copper, there's silver, there's red. I just grabbed some. So you can use this, as I say, with the toner, but that has problems in the fact that if you can't get laser cut, laser printed things and stuff like that, or if you haven't got a laminator. But you can also just use it with good old glue. So let's start. I think this is looking the drier one. Do you remember this pad? So the glue has now soaked in. Hope it hasn't dried too much. So it means that when I press my bubble wrap into, it might have dried too much, I might have to load it up with some more. I can apply some glue and then, no, it's fine. So where the glue is, oh, it's drying super quick. Got to work a bit quicker tonight. So where the glue is, you see how it's pulling off the foil. So I'm going to put some more glue on that because that's crazy. Shimmer paints would look fabulous. Hazel, yeah. But I just thought having quite a matte background and then adding some of these foils to them. I didn't even make this ink pad that I've turned it over, so maybe the back. I knew it was a bit too warm to do stamping. I will show you these with stamps. But you can just use the glue. So what you do, let's do one of the flowers just to give me a, so you press the glue down, so you stamp with the glue and then you press the foil into it. It is drying quite quickly, so I'm not getting a perfect impression, but I'm getting enough of what I want. And you put it down. Where a lot of people make a mistake with foil is they put the foil side down because you're thinking in that kind of back to front way, which we are used to doing, you know. But for this, you actually put the foil side up so that it will pull off, and you get this fabulous sparkle. And I just think against the matteness, let's have a bit of the pink and the bit of the green, because we've obviously got those colours in here. Turn this over. I do like the bubble wrap. Oh, let's try the card and see if we can get some straightish lines. You do want the glue to also be a little bit sticky. It's a fine line, so just practice, and that's why something like this is perfect. There you go. It just needs to go off a little bit. In winter, you'd need to leave that for about 5 minutes to go tacky, but today, 30 seconds, and it's too dry. Oh, that, yeah. So we're just getting that lovely contrast. Okay. I do love a bit of corrugated. But so you can use stamps, just not today. The glue is just drying too ridiculously. I mean, absolutely crazy. I'll turn that over again. Do a little bit off the top there. And notice I can just use the foil. I'm not having to cut it. I'm just using it as a sheet, and then I can find, you know, you're getting those nice contrasts. I wonder if I don't know if this will work, just because the glue's a little bit. So we're getting that shine as well. So you've got all that matteness, and now you're getting the shine as well. I do like this corrugated piece of card. I'm going to cut that a bit smaller. It might be a bit easier for me to work with. If I need to load my glue pad up again, it's easy enough to do. I just squirt some more glue on, because the glue is starting to go a little bit. Okay, and I will I turn that over, I am going to use it with a stamp now. So you can see the glue on your stamp. And then we're going to do that down there. I think I'll go with the green again. Just keep applying it until you've got the coverage you want. Can you see that? It's hard again. There, you see that you've got that lovely design. I think I'm going to leave that one with that amount of... I can come back and add some more in a minute. We haven't done any of the pink. Maybe I should do some of the pink. Let's do a bit more with this stamp. I'm trying to get it somewhere because obviously the background's quite busy. I want it somewhere where you can see it. So I'll do some on some plain paper in a minute so you can see it without the... But I just love that element of shine. So you've got all that matte-ness and then you've got that shine. Still think the corrugated card is my favourite. Okay, right, let's come in to do the same thing on the white. Now obviously the foils will look different on the white. We know with mica and stuff like that. I'm going to put a bit more glue. See, even this is a bit gloopy. Really want gloopy glue. So turn that over. Now obviously this is one of our blank ink pads, so we can easily put that into soak and have a fresh... It's probably too much glue now. So this is a bit too much glue, it's not going to work straight away. So I'm going to apply some of the stamp around the outside so I know where I need to start putting the foil. If the glue's too wet when you first do it, it just won't cling. So just give it a chance to take a little bit off. Did it the same as last week. Forgot where I've gone it. Okay, where's my corrugated? Turn that over. I always just keep flicking your... this is why we don't glue these pads down. Because it's so much easier, the fact you can just keep flicking. I like that green against... Can you see that nice green? A little bit more. If you've used a piece of the foil for quite a while and there's not much foil left on it, obviously you move to a new piece. But you just keep going until there's none left on there. You can see, let's do a bit of that blue. Here's my blue. By the way, you get tons to play with. Let's have a fresh bit of blue. And because this hasn't got nearly as much foil as the other one. But it is also more glue. Turn it over. Work it in a little bit. I haven't done bubble wrap either yet. All that blues are getting really nice against the orange. I would always practice stuff like this, not with a stamped image, with things like this. are more collagey, and you'll get to know, depends what glue you're using as well. I mean, I'm just using normal PVA, but because of the heat, it is drying a lot quicker than it would normally. And anybody that's held stuff with PVA glue knows that normally it would take an absolute age. Don't know if that's gonna bubble wrap as well. Let's flick that over. So the bubble wrap's nice because obviously the plastic doesn't absorb the glue like the cardboard does, but I do like that sort of grid. And we'll do a little bit with this stamp. Again, I'm just not overly thinking about it. See, so you got that lovely sparkle against the matteness. I think I'm happy with that. Really, you can literally play with this for however long, keep going. But I just really wanted to show that this foil works so nicely without having to use the toner and stuff like that. The other thing that works really nicely with it is double-sided adhesive. So you can die cut and then it will lift the foil off as well. But I was sort of after this distress sort of look. If I had tin foil here and it wasn't stupidly hot and the glue drying in 30 seconds, I would use screwed up tin foil and do that, and then you would get that almost nice marble effect. Right, so I'm happy with those. So we're going to do our usual of flick them over. And one at a time. This time I'm using my Tim Holtz ruler. We are going to chop them up just like we did before. This is going to give us loads of stuff for next week as well, because I'm going to do something with the bits left over from last week, the bits left over from this week, because we don't actually need that many bits for a flag book. We could make a huge flag book, but we're only going to do a small one because don't want to overrun tonight, because I've got a planter to build which is currently in the back of the car. I might not get it built tonight. Work does tend to get in the way. Right, I'm not going to, no, I won't divide all this up yet. But again, same philosophy of that we're not looking. Because that way we're not trying to get a particular element or anything like that. So I'm just going to chop some of these up. Sometimes it's quite hard when you're cutting from behind, because your brain is wanting to flick over and see what you get. But even when you're cutting them off, try not to try not to be tempted to turn the whole stack over until you've done them all and given them a muddle up, because it just adds to the interest. Forgot to take the shorter one out. Okay. Those ones are slightly narrower, that's why I'm putting them over that side. Okay. One more cut. And there you go, you've got that magic. So some have got lots of the foiling on, some have only got hints of the foiling. And I would, once I've cut them up, I don't think I'd want to add any more foiling. You might do if you've really, not got much. but you know, those ones are fabulous. So they're the white version. Let's now do the same with the black version. Bit harder to see on the back. Okay. I just find things like this, especially if you're into your art journals, journaling, or you know, just having a little bit of mindful time where you end up with something. These make great ATCs, but also if you're someone who, what am I doing, lacks confidence with paint, you know, oh, I can't paint. I've not painted. I don't even think 100%. I used a paintbrush other than the handle of it to make dots. But you can create your own fabulous designs with things like this. And you could do all of this on top of what we did last week. Or have it, you know, instead of white and black, you could have book page and brown paper. You know, Amazon do like to put a lot of their brown paper in. You've got no bits left from last week, Hazel. You make me proud. They're just so fun to use up. Okay, so I'll cut a fair few of these up. I won't do them all because you don't need to sit and watch me cutting up little squares. And I apologise for my mats and layers that are about to come out because again, forgot to bring my trimmer back. It's in the cabin. So I thought I'd do it with a ruler. Realised I'm awful at doing it with a ruler. Okay. Last one. Here we go. I can feel as I'm cutting, I can feel the paint and stuff underneath. Let's have a look. Oh, look at them as well. Yeah, so you can see that here. You know, let's put a bit of black card under there. Just, you know, just sticking these little tiles down and doing a grid card. You've got such interest. Not on with the bubble wrap. The black and the foil. The pink foil. I mean, that one looks almost camouflage. They're just, no, that's a short one. They're just lovely little joyous pieces again. Exactly the same as last week, that you've got these bits there. I mean, I couldn't have planned that one to be more central, but I love the fact that it helps you with your randomness. So anybody who struggles with doing random, something like this is so liberating because you're working on the back, you are going to get that randomness, but it's not random because it's a grid. So it just helps you because that's just so much nicer, the fact it's gone off. All of them, you know, in fact that one actually looks a little bit odd now because the circle's almost in the middle. It's much nicer where they go off the page. And I've just looked at that one, and that could easily sort of have a candles feel, but then you put it like that, it has a different feel. They're just so much fun to work with, things like this. But we are going to do a flag card. So a flag card is the one where when you open it up, your pieces go in different directions. Now why? When I try and be organised, oh there they are. You've got all your little mats and layers I've pre-cut. So obviously, that is atrocious cutting. That's a bit better. Right, so I think I've done 5 black, 5 white. So again, I am not going to What planet was I on when I cut these? Right, ignore the wonkiness. Honestly, I thought I'd cut them really straight. Oh, that's funny. That's bad. That's really bad. Oh well, ignore that. Would make a fun workshop. Yes, Linda. Is that a subtle hint? I'll also cut these way too big. But okay, what we'll do is we'll trim them down in a second. So I'm just getting 5 white ones, 5 black ones, and there's not even a right angle on that one. Dearie me, I'll cut that in the middle. And I'm not overly looking. Obviously wasn't looking when I cut those either. Okay, so that's my ones to work with. Let's just get a little bit of glue on the back there, stick them to there. Glue pads are quite good for this. If the glue doesn't dry in the time it takes you to get from the pad to the paper. Honestly, what was up with me on that cutting? That is so bad. A birthday planet, yes. I'd like a birthday planet. There we go. Mildly better cutting now. Only mildly. So I'm just matting these. So again, we're keeping that opposites theme. Should have done this in the first place. They're not perfect, but they're way better than they were. I don't know what... I really thought I'd sat with the ruler and done them. Somebody remind me on Tuesday to bring my trimmer back in so we don't have such disasters again. I don't know if I'm putting enough glue on here, but it's just for now. I just can't get over, you know, normally, I think the heat's kind of crept up on me a bit today. I didn't notice it was that as warm as it is. I mean, what is the temperature? I mean, I know I'm upstairs in the mezzanine, but it just seems particularly warm tonight. Right, there we go. And all these little bits I'm trimming off, you know, you could use those to glue together as backgrounds, and or in a paper making, might gather them up. I've been pressing flowers ready. There we go. I'm normally okay. I don't know. Maybe I was stood wonky. I've got my proper boots on, not my work boots. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm just not standing straight. Okay, so we've got a pile of magic for other projects. And then we have our little pieces that are going to come into our flag book. So the mechanism for a flag book is very simple. I just need to cut a length of card, a reasonable length, and now we're going to concertina it. Okay, probably need a little bit more. A fairly decent sized concertina, you know, a finger or a finger and a half. And you're just going backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. And I don't, for this, bother measuring and scoring because I'm folding it on itself, so each piece is going to be the same size. Just don't rush. more water. With the gin, I didn't. I have got, I'm being good, got a bottle of fizzy Soda Stream water. Although the pot of tea at the garden centre today was quite a mean pot of tea. I only got 1 cup out of it. Right, so you're going to end up with a sort of a letter rack, I suppose. And one part is going to stick on the inside of your card, and then the other part is going to be able to pull. Now, to actually do the flag bit, I'm going to put some more glue on there, is we need to attach our pieces at alternate sides. What I mean by that, so let's have all the black backed ones there and all the white backed ones there, and then I want me little doodah. Oh no, it's got paint on it. Let's have a sponge. No, a little paintbrush will do. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom part, and he's going to stick on the left hand side, and they're going to be stuck to the left hand side all the way along. Okay, so left hand side of the ridge. Okay, all the way along. Okay, so they're going to sit up like that. Then your other ones, are you taking, Hazel, you've done a flag book before. I'm sure you have. The other ones go on the other side. So they go on the right hand side. So you see it makes them point in the opposite direction. There we go. Be nicer with bigger ones as well, but I just hadn't got a bigger straight edge. I need to get Paul to make me a variety of straight edges of different widths, don't I? So squeeze it down, and that's the way the mechanism works. And then when you put it into your card, bit of glue, so sometimes if you want it hidden in a card, you can do it like that, or this is quite nice, cut straight. Not tonight, we're not. So, and do two, oh, it's atrocious as well, 2 separate covers. This makes it more like a little book. Bit of glue along there. Cover on. And then you've got your lovely flag book. I'm going to swap that round because we could actually then make a little front cover as well. They go in opposite directions and you just see them. So it's a very simple one but very effective. And then just let's end with more atrocious cutting. Honestly, you would have thought I had a gin at lunchtime. I didn't. Honestly, I had a cup of tea. And then we could make a little front cover with some of these. That's the small one. Again, if this was sort of measured, but you get the idea. Okay. So do we like the fact that I do a little make and then we make it up into something and we're learning lots of different mechanisms? Because it does make it fun for me, because I revisit loads of ones, or I'll see one and it's like I've got to learn how to do that. So there we go, we've got our little flag book that goes opposite ways. Again, you know, we could put those in, but I want to save some of those. I don't want to use them all. So there is our little book. It's such a nice simple one, and if you want to go really, really elaborate, make it taller and you can alternate them so that you could have another set, and just as long as the first row goes one way, second row the other way, and then you zigzag, and it's like that. They don't have to be squares, they could be rectangles. It just gives you a really nice, interesting look. So that is a flag book. Okay, with our foils, so that's why I called it foils and flags. Foils and your paints to create your little toppers again that you can then create lots of different things with. So, hang on, somebody seems to have buried the deck so I can't swap between buttons. I've thrown all my stuff on it. Right, so that's tonight's one. Hope you enjoyed it. Sorry it was a bit chaotic. I think the heat's got to me. Or it's the distracting thought that the car is full of plants. But I've been a plant hero today, and all my plants were bought from the reduced section. So mother-in-law's like, they're all dead. I'm like, no, they're not. They just need love. So I've got to go and water them and get them out into the new planter when I've built it. Maybe I won't build that tonight if I manage. As my cutting has been atrocious this evening, I don't think I should be trusted with a screwdriver and a drill. But thank you very much for all the birthday messages and everything. That was been very lovely. I will read them all. In the meantime, get the paints out, have some fun, and have a go at a flag book. You can obviously join paper together and make it longer and really nice, but it does just make a real, throwing a paintbrush around now, a really fun little one, nice and kinetic, great for little greetings and in journals and stuff. So I will be back same time next week, possibly a little bit more with it, because I'm hoping it'll be a little bit cooler. In the meantime, have a nice rest of the week. Those of you I am upside down plants. What do you mean by upside down plants, Hazel? I've got a lot of, yeah. No, mine are definitely up the right way at the moment. Those of you that I'm seeing on Saturday, I look forward to seeing you. I will try and get as many photos as I can of goats, but if my phone gets eaten, you know, it could happen. But as long as I survive walking the goats on Friday, I will see you same time, same place next week. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you soon. Take care.